Welcome back to the Hide for Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today we're reviewing Companion, released in 2025, written and directed by Drew Hancock. Twan, you get the people the plot summary?
A weekend getaway at a remote cabin turns to chaos when it's revealed that one of the guests, a subservient android built for human companionship, has gone haywire. But before we get into our movie Companion, we're going to get into a couple of Haddonfield headlines this week. So, to start us off, Osgood Perkins, the director behind movies such as Longlegs and The Monkey, has signed a first look deal with Neon and ahead of his new horror movie Keeper, which will be releasing later this year. So Neon is the same group that he has put out his first two movies with. So they get first dibs at anything else that he wants to put out now, which I always like when like studios or distributors do kind of deals like that. It kind of just shows that, you know, one, you they got a little trust in you, but also like especially if they're like given good products. Like I know I think Jordan Peele has a first look deal or had a first look deal with Universal, or I think Christopher Nolan did used to with Warner Bros. Before um he went
They
with
had a big falling
Universal.
out.
Yeah, so like it just shows that that they have a good repertoire, but also they could keep putting out like generally original stuff because the funding kind of is always secured in a sense. So I always like those type of deals, especially for horror, and I think it's really good for Osgood Perkins just in general as well. Because while I personally didn't really think Longlegs was worth the hype, it was still I thought still liked it. Um, and I thought the monkey was fun. It's just good to get kind of like we said, like more horror shit out. Like we were talking about that a little while ago. But like so far, his first three movies, with the third one, as I mentioned, Keeper releasing later this year, they're all completely different from another. If I told someone that Longlegs was directed by the same guy who did the monkey, they'd probably be like, "What?"
Yeah, that's insane. I actually haven't seen either, so I have no expectations. I have nothing. Oh, well, no, I did see the monkey. I was lukewarm on it. I haven't seen Long Legs yet. I've heard good things, but hearing you say that kind of almost overhyped,
Well,
kind of.
I think it was overhyped, and it was kind of given that kind of like what we mentioned when when we were I forget what we were discussing. I think it was The Conjuring. How some stuff is kind of like normie horror. Now
Hmm.
I won't say Longlegs was normie horror, but it's something just a little bit over like The Conjuring to the normies. That's like the scariest shit they've ever seen. So
Ah,
it was kind of like hyped, like this is the scariest movie you'll see all year, blah 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 blah, like that type of shit. And the marketing was really good for it, so I definitely kind of fell into it. And then when I watched it, I was like, this was given more like a good like a good rated R thriller, which still isn't bad at all.
no, no. Side note, see, I'm looking him up now. I keep forgetting that this is Anthony Perkins' son.
Hmm.
This poor man. First, his father dies of AIDS because he was DL, and then his mom dies in fucking 9/11. Like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Okay, back to the show.
But yeah, it was just kind of it wasn't like bad, but because I had that mindset going into it when I watched it, I was like, that wasn't like that. But if I take that out of it and give it a rewatch just on its own merit, very good movie, very well directed, all that stuff. So I just like seeing little deals like stuff like this where creatives are getting to put their work out there like on their terms, and their original ideas and stuff are paying off. And you got distributors like Neon, A24, who are kind of being generous with that type of stuff. Anything you have anything else on that
Uh,
type of thing, or just this?
the movie itself, no, but like I do like a good like first look deal situation. I think that allows creatives to be. Let me reword that. I do like the idea like that the first look deals. I think it allows
Mm-hmm.
the creatives to focus solely on the creative process and not have to worry about trying to find funding or find a distribution house
Mm-hmm.
or a studio. They can just fully focus on script, the direction, getting everyone together, having everyone come together. So that's something that I think is great. I do like who is it? There was someone, Ryan Coogler actually, how he constructed his deal, and like he after a
Or
certain
like
point,
advocated for himself and all that.
yeah, and how he gets the rights after a certain point, and I think like
Mm-hmm.
that's what you need to do, especially when you do a first look deal. You never want to be in a situation where you don't own the rights to your product at all. We don't want to go back to the studio system because that didn't really work out. Well, it worked for a while, but
Yeah.
that it might not, and it all went to hell. So I do like the first look deal. I just hope everyone's being smart about it. And look, it worked for Christopher Nolan, so keep it up. But let's get some horror people in there. Let's get more horror people with some good first look deals, and let's
Yep.
just set it off.
You're right. Moving along though, um, as of recording this, which is Wednesday, May 14th. Tomorrow, May 15th. Well, actually, May 16th on Friday will be the official release. Final Destination Bloodlines would have came out, but the Rotten Tomatoes score was released today, and it opened with a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes off of 75 reviews, which is crazy to me. Like I would have, I would have thought like maybe like 70s, 80s, and maybe probably near like 70s because you know how horror it is, and like it's a little more out there. Final Destination, especially with like critics and all that stuff. So when I saw 95, I was like, oh, okay, they really fucking with it, huh? What were your thoughts, Mark, when you saw that Rotten Tomatoes score today?
I I was shocked. Uh, I, I I was shocked only because I keep going back to Final Destination 4. That was the racetrack one, right? Number 4.
Yeah,
And I keep on, I can't, like that. I forget about the one that came after it, even though it was the one that brought the franchise full circle and brought it back to the first movie. That was a good ending. I forgot that everyone kind of, like, we love that movie. But I always, for some reason, when I think Final Destination, I always go back to the fourth movie and how dog shit that was and how everyone clowned it. So initially I was like, really? Y'all like this? And then I was like, oh, well, it makes sense. The one right before it, everyone loved. And this is like a return of form. And I think the people in charge did the right thing. They let the franchise like rest a little. And then like immediately try to like give us a follow-up. So people have been clamoring for a Final Destination movie. So the Rotten Tomato score fits. But also, I don't know if you were going to bring it up, but the marketing campaign,
crazy.
spectacular. What do you mean y'all have trucks driving around with logs? What do you what do
Like I
you
be
mean?
Like I be getting
Like,
on their ass. I be getting on their ass about like the shit with HBO and like the dumb shit they be doing, like Warner. But they marketing this year with just films in general been good. Like the Sinners marketing was on point. The
yes,
marketing for this movie has been really good. They already kicking off the marketing for The Conjuring. I know that's gonna be good too. They're kicking off marketing for fucking Superman. Like they going crazy this year. I'm not even gonna lie. Even though David Zaslav be pissing me the fuck off with all
I
these
mean
other decisions, whoever in
that's
charge of the
because
marketing,
they getting ready to divorce, so Warner getting their shit together.
yeah,
Like
whoever in charge of the marketing
like
department,
how
they in it.
yeah, I like how when we started hearing rumors about a possible like split between Warner and Discovery, is when it seems like Warner is like, okay, we get our identity back. Let's actually do some shit because that's what it's given, and I like it. But like the fact that the franchise and the studio knows that they scarred an entire generation, and they're using that to get us to come watch the new movie,
Hmm.
diabolical. Y'all know
No,
y'all
they're
gave
so
a whole
funny.
generation trauma.
No, they're so funny for that. I won't even lie. And as of right now, so I mean, pretty obvious. This is the highest rated movie in the franchise on Rotten Tomatoes. If we want to go in order from like highest to least rated Rotten Tomato score, Bloodlines is at a 95%. Oh, it actually went up one. Final Destination 5 is at a 63%. Um, Final Destination 2 is at a 52%. Final Destination 3 is at a 44. The first movie is at a 40, and the Final Destination number 4 is at a 28%. Um,
Not bad.
so yeah, it actually went up 1 point from when I first put this note in here, the Bloodline. So it's doing something. I was definitely not expecting that.
I mean, because you got people like us who grew up with their franchise, but then you got the new fans who are like who see like the little clips and the memes, and like the people who have never watched a Final Destination movie who are afraid of the damn logs just because it's part of the pop culture, so that everyone's pretty much is going to flock to watch this movie, and I'm excited. I'm pretty sure I saw that last one in theaters. I don't remember, but I'm
Mm,
excited that I get to go see this one in theaters. I know it's going to be great. Uh, and seeing that the studio has faith in it makes me even more excited to watch it.
yeah, same here.
When Warner Brothers don't care, you can tell they don't care because they'll just put the shit, they'll just put that shit out, and then you wouldn't even say nothing about it.
No, you're right. Um, Moving forward, we also have a new movie that'll be releasing, I think sometime next year, they said, but Elizabeth Olsen will star alongside Kristen Stewart and Oscar Isaac in a vampire thriller named Flesh of the Gods that will be directed by Panos Cosmatos, who was the director of the movie Mandy with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that movie was fucking crazy.
I did not.
That is
I
a
I'm
crazy
iffy with
ass
Nicolas
movie.
Cage, so I didn't see that.
I don't know. I feel like you might like that. That movie is crazy.
I might
But
check it out.
I heard Oscar Isaac and vampires, and I was like, oh, I'm on board. And then I was like, y'all got Kristen Stewart to do some vampire shit again. I was like, okay. And then Elizabeth Olsen, love her. So I mean, I'm on board.
It
A
sounds like it
vampire
could be
thriller,
good.
a vampire thriller at that. I'm on board. Um. Lastly, we have Return to Silent Hill has secured its U.S. distribution deal with Cineverse. So, for those who are unaware, Silent Hill horror video game franchise, there have been two attempts at a live action movie for this franchise. The first one, won't lie, I actually really do like the first one. I think it captures the aesthetics of the game really well. And the story for what it was like kind of a mashup of some of the like stories in the games, but it was pretty good. The sequel, very bad. It was kind of a CGI heavy type thing, and yeah, it just didn't really work out. Um, but this new movie that's supposed to come out is directed. If I'm not mistaken, it will be directed by the director of the first live action movie, and will have input by some like writers of the games. So I'm thinking it's going to be pretty good. And as I just mentioned, they secured their distribution, which Cineverse, if you guys are unaware, is the same distribution company behind putting out the Terrifier movies, and they're also will be putting out the Toxic Avenger like remake sequel, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and a sequel to Wolf Creek. So they are definitely filling up their slate with a bunch of good, horror like movies, and I'm hoping that this new Silent Hill movie will be good. Um, the franchise has definitely kind of been on a decline as of recent, um, but the remakes of the games have been pretty good, and they also have a new game coming out that I think will be that's looking pretty promising. Maybe this will be a movie for Mark to cover with our guest
With
hosts.
well, yes, Deadeye. We do the horror movies made from video games. Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
have you guys done the Silent Hill?
No, we haven't. The last one that we did was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Are
We
you
when we
guys gonna do Until Dawn?
yes, I was thinking about that, and I was gonna grab you to do it with us.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. But yeah, have you seen the other two Silent Hill movies,
I
the live
saw,
action?
I saw, I saw the first one. I did not see the second one. I know that Sean Bean came back, but
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm good. And even though it had Carrie Ann Moss, who I love,
Oh, yeah,
I
she
still
was
had no
so
interest.
bad in it.
Yeah, I had no interest. Like Carrie Ann Moss is one of those actresses that like it's
Hit
hit
or
or
miss.
miss,
Because
and
she
I
was
think
in
it's
Bye Bye
down.
Man too.
And I think it's down to the director. I think whoever like the director is, like they can get a performance out of her, but it doesn't hit all the time. Like I
Hmm.
call up the goddamn Wachowskis and have them direct. Maybe she'll do some shit.
Do you remember much from the first movie? Or do you
I
remember
my
liking it?
main complaint is like I am so contradictory. I love no, actually I'm not. I don't like wait. What what do I like? I like when video games complete. Okay, yeah, yes. I like when video games. I like when video games that are based off a movie gives me the movie. I like to play through the movie. You know, going back to like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man games. They, for the most part, they follow the movie plot. I hate when a video game, when a movie becomes, when a video game becomes a movie, and it just gives me more of the same of what I've already played. Bitch, I've already done this. I don't want to see this. And I felt like that Silent Hill movie from 2006, it had
I
a
think it
good
struck a
mix.
good middle point.
It had a good mix of both, but it also felt like it it needed just a little bit more of, you know, free will. I feel like they handcuffed themselves. They wanted to be original, but they also wanted to have like, okay, the fans will kill us if we don't do this. I just wish they had more balls to just like, you know, let's just go completely crazy and just try something new. They played it too safe, in my opinion.
Now, I
It
want
was
you
a
to
good
keep this in
movie.
mind when you watch Until Dawn.
Oh God.
I want you to keep exactly what you just said in mind when you watch Until Dawn.
I mean, I like an adaptation. I like you. I don't want the movie to be exactly like the video game. Give me something. Give me little sprinkles here and there. But I don't need you to to completely adapt the video game. Like a good example is Uncharted. I
That
love
shit
the
sucked.
Uncharted. I love the Uncharted games. I played all five of them. I'm saying five because I'm including the spinoff. I started the franchise late. I started playing with the when the fourth game came out, and I played the fourth game, and then I went back and played the first three. So I was excited when the movie came out, and I was excited that it wasn't going to be like a direct adaptation of the video game. We're getting a young Nathan Drake, so that kind of stuff I liked. Was the movie great? No, but was the idea they had behind it great? Yes. It just needed a little bit. No, they needed a script doctor, but. I'm willing. I don't know. I'm also not a big Silent Hill fan, so I'm kind of like the wrong person to ask because I didn't really enjoy those games.
Mm,
So it wasn't. I wasn't the target audience for that.
okay.
But I don't know. I prefer Resident Evil. I know they have like a lot of comparisons, a lot of differences.
You
I
know, another
Silent
one's in the
Hill.
work for that as well.
Yeah, I do.
By the guy who did Barbarian.
Oh God, see, that's a movie franchise. They need to just let go. Like, just stick to the video games, please. Please stick to the video
Fortunately,
games.
they can't. That's what honestly the OG movies. That's like my favorite love to hate like what hate watch series like because I don't like them in regards to the games, but like they're so goofy. I love to watch them, but while
I
hating them,
love the first
hate-
two. I love the first two movies, unapologetically and unironically. I love the first two Resident Evil movies. Everything after that, you can keep it. You can keep it.
but the last one is unforgivable.
So unforgivable. And the animes and the car and the TV shows, like please just stick to the video games. That's all we need. Just,
And then they had a reboot like 5 years, like in the last 5 years or so.
yeah, they did, which was
They did a
also
reboot movie, and they're like, okay, the the 10th time will be the charm. They about to,
kill it.
they say, you know what, we can get it the first 10 tries, but we go get it on this one. That's so funny.
Mm.
All right, but I'll kick it back to you. That's been it for our How to Feel headlines.
I just want
Let's
to
get
say,
into
the Resident Evil reboot, Welcome to Raccoon City, came out in 2021.
damn.
Damn, that was like 5 years. Damn.
Yeah.
Now that we're done with that, let's get into the movie we're here to review, Companion. I texted Twan earlier that I was no, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, "This movie isn't what I expected." You were like, "Is that good or bad?" And I was like, "It's good," because what I was expecting was a Chucky 2019 kind of movie where there was a faulty robot that malfunctioned at the factory and went crazy and killed a bunch of people. And I was like, and then I was like, okay, it's either that or it's going to be a case of somehow the robot gets messed up and just goes batshit crazy, or the robot either thought it was going to copy Chucky 2019 or give me some Terminator bullshit where the AI system is fighting back. And what the movie end up being, I was not expecting. I was completely surprised. I thought it was going to be some crazy. But also, as I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be some weird, like male chauvinistic. I'm beating my sex bot, and now my sex bot's gonna beat me back type of deal." Which we kind of got a little bit of that, but it wasn't. I don't know. This movie
That
just
wasn't like
wasn't
the
what
whole
I.
thing.
No, it wasn't. It's not what I expected. I had so many thoughts and ideas of what this movie was gonna be before I pushed play, and they were all wrong, and I'm still happy about it. What about you? What are your thoughts on Companion?
So, I did like this movie. I went to theaters to see it around the time it came out. And I liked it. I, of course, like went into it. I was like, okay, Jack Quaid. We love Jack Quaid. Sophie, I think Sophie Thatcher what's her name? That's her name, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, her. Because I haven't watched it in a minute, but she's in Yellow Jackets. She's good in there, and yeah, I was like excited, and I saw like the previews, and I wish I didn't watch the previews. This is one of those movies where I wish I didn't watch the previews because they basically told us that she was a droid or a robot in there, and the movie would have been so much better if I didn't know that, or if they shielded that from the marketing somehow. I feel like they could have. I don't know. I would have like going into it. I was just waiting for it to for a flip to switch, or the shit to start going down, and then once it did, I was like, okay, now let's see how this pans out. But I wish I
See,
didn't know that going into it.
that didn't affect me. See, I knew she was a droid. The surprise for me was Patrick.
Yeah, that was a
I was,
surprise.
I was like, there's two of them. Okay, never mind. I see. I think they did that. I felt like they told us she was a droid, but didn't tell us that there were gonna be droids also, and I was okay with that. It didn't. My whole thing was I was trying to see what the turn was gonna be. What was gonna make her kill someone? That was my thing.
Yeah, I do like. Okay, I did like that. How it wasn't like some some shit like you were saying, back a manufacturer's issue or like that type of thing, and he modded her to do it. I felt like that was kind of funny because that shit would be happening. That would
Hmm.
most definitely be happening because motherfuckers love to mod some shit. I would know. So I know motherfuckers are like real droids. Like there would be people on 4chan in deep ass Reddit forums and Discord servers that would be modding their robots or whatever to do shit. So that's very believable for what happened in this movie. And when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. I see it. Um, I'm trying to think what else. She was very, I think why am I forgetting her name? Iris. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm almost
Iris.
I almost called her like Evelyn or something. Iris. I like the character of Iris. I thought like she was pretty good. Um, I know we're gonna get into it a bit more, like in like breaking down the characters, but I think that just in general they did good with how they kind of portrayed her a bit, and like some of the way that the answers to like questions and things of that stuff came off from the droid, but making them seem believable as hell though. Especially when we say the same for like Patrick as well, so because that, like you said, came out of nowhere. um yeah, but overall though, I thought this was like a good, this was a good time. This is like one of those like movies, like not I don't I'm like not like turn my brain off type of thing, but like I could just put this on and have a good time watching it.
Yeah, this was an enjoyable movie. Like
Low
it was
stakes,
very,
I guess you could say.
yeah, and it was very aesthetically pleasing. Like it looked nice. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I don't know, like I don't know, the color grading and the direction, it just made it an enjoyable watch. If that
I
makes any
have my
sense.
boy from Twitter in here.
Huh?
You know that in the movie, the two guys that came at the end to like take her back to
Mm-hmm.
the company, the younger guy, the light skinned dude, he's this like dude that used to be as like comedian, but used to be like not used to be. He still kind of is. He just doesn't post anymore. Like really popular on Twitter. His name was like Jabuki Young White or something like that, and he would be so fucking funny on Twitter. He's like finally, like past couple years, been getting into movies and shit. But he was so fucking funny.
Oh, the gay one. Yes.
Yes, yes, that was him.
Oh, girl, child. I did not know this one.
Yup.
Oh, he used to be cute.
Used to be crazy.
They put some weight on, but it helps. Some people like it. Not for me. But yeah, it was a surprising movie for me. It's really good. Like I didn't find any problems with it. I didn't feel like there was any like messaging that was like beating us over the head. I didn't. I don't know. This was just like an enjoyable. That's weird to say, but I think it was just like an enjoyable like watch for me. Like it was a good movie, and I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. But let's get into it. Let's get into some scenes that stood out for us, good, bad, or indifferent. And just to kick us off, I want to say that dinner, that like dining table scene between Josh and Iris, my best part of the movie for me. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Towards the end, right?
Yeah, when she was like, when she was reading him for filth. She was like,
Yeah, she was.
pretty much told him that he was a little boy, and then she told him that you have a below average sized penis. Which she a robot. Like she tell you the truth. She know what the average size is, and you below that. That's he was reading him for filth, and I was like, yes, girl, tell him everything. Just destroy him. Take him out. I love that. Another scene for me that stood out was the scene where Patrick like killed himself. I was like, damn, he got his memories back. I thought they were gonna just like team up and like whoop Josh's ass, but then he just like he put himself out of his misery. And I was like, wait, no, I wanted you to go get Josh. But I enjoyed it. I did love the chase scene in the woods when Josh like caught up to her. That was actually pretty good.
Oh
What
yeah.
about you, boy? What about you? Are there any scenes or kills that stood out for you? Good, bad, or indifferent? And poor cop.
Um. Oh yeah, one scene that stood out to me was the one with the cop where she switched the language so he didn't know what she was saying, but
This
she
shit was
couldn't
so
lie.
funny.
So she was still like she was like spilling the tea, but she just couldn't lie. But also the cop was being like he was being weird too. It was kind of giving like some shit be happening over here because with that guy and he know of it, but he was like it was almost like he's gonna let it slide a bit until like he saw the
The knife.
yeah, until he saw like the knife in the car and stuff. It's like I don't know, he was it was kind of set up like weirdly there, not like in the not like the movie, but like that interaction. Um, I did like how when Josh had reset Patrick and basically imprinted on him. They did the whole little scene about how they met with him instead of
Right? He stole that. Like,
instead of
disrespectful.
Eli. Like damn,
You gotta die just for that, sir, because that's
he
rude.
replaced this whole shit. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But I did like, as you mentioned, yeah, that scene with Patrick towards the end where he basically remembers like his whole thing with Eli and retains, and basically he had retained that information and kill, like shoots himself. And I was like, damn, that was crazy because that robot loved him.
Really did. But also in that same scene, I love afterwards. I love when Josh finds out that, oh yeah, everything has been stored in the hard drive, and the hard drive is completely safe. It's not in her head. Because I also thought that the hard drive and the memory bank would be in her brain.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, oh, that's so smart that it's not. Also makes so much more sense that it's not. For situations like this. And I also loved how when he got in the car and the guy was like, oh yeah, that guy is fucked. He modded her.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't believe his story not one bit. I was like, okay, this
No,
is
that
funny.
ass though, like that's so true. That like when that shit happened, I like that's literally like me for work. Cause like me doing like IT support and shit. When people tell me shit that they didn't do or shit that they said they didn't do, and like I could just look and tell that they did, I'm like, oh, y'all done fucked up. You just don't want to say it. Like people will do that shit in order so that they can like skew responsibility. Um, another scene though that obviously was weird was when fucking Sergey was trying to like push up on Iris. Like one, just because it's a fucking droid, um, doesn't mean you can do shit to it. And then two, it's like,
Yeah, like
why,
don't be
why?
disrespectful.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Unless, like, no, I'm not even saying unless, like, why is it that? Let me see how I'm offering this. Um, wasn't it? He said, "Cat," the one that told him he could do this or whatever.
Yep.
I'm like,
And that's not Cat's robot.
exactly, but that like exactly like it's not. Is one, it's not yours, but two, just because it is a droid, this droid, like to the naked eye, this is a person. So if you want to do this shit with the person, why are you doing this with the droid just because you want to smash? And it's like, it gets into it gets into that like ethical, like unethical territories and shit like that, and it's just nasty as fuck. Um, which before we found out he modded her, it would have been easily believable if he did mod her and she just kind of broke internally, and that happened with Iris. But with us finding out that he modded her, it just it made it a little more believable from that standpoint of it. Lastly, when it came to them, like we found out about the money, and Eli was like, "Yeah, we're gonna split it 4 ways." Talking about Patrick, like, okay, I need you to be for real.
I love that reveal because I was just like, yeah, why is he discarding Patrick? And it's like, oh shit, Patrick's a robot.
No, for
I
real.
did not see that
That was
coming.
actually so funny though. How he was trying to like, he's like, yeah, we're gonna split it 4 ways. Like, I was like, once we did find out though, I'm like, okay, Eli, be for real, be so fucking for real right now. We're not giving Patrick no money.
Poor Pat.
That was so funny. Yeah, I think that might be it for like the scenes and such that I had.
Any kills?
Uh, Nothing really stood out. I kind of, because we didn't see what happened to the cop. I don't think.
No, he just we just saw him beat him. I think he just beat him to death.
Yeah, that was it, right? Okay, yeah,
Hmm.
that was about it then. Yeah, I don't think nothing that much of it. Like they were all like fairly tame kills for the most part. Um, I guess Patrick killing Cat like kind of surprised me. I was like, oh,
I
what that
saw that
happened?
coming. I saw that coming. He was like, Patrick, stop her. I was like, damn, she about to die. It happened so fast.
Yeah, but yeah.
And
Besides
I love how she was just like, Patrick, just shut the fuck up. Let me die without having to hear your voice, please.
that, no, yeah, that was funny.
Any thoughts on? Well, we're gonna move over to the characters. You have any thoughts on Sergey?
He was so creepy. Like he's so creepy in general. But I will say it was funny finding out that he wasn't actually into some shady shit at the end. I think it was Kat who revealed that, right? Like that he really wasn't into like shady shit. He actually got his money through like pretty legitimate ways. Um,
He was just a
I
douchebag.
Yeah, he was just a douche. So I did think that was kind of funny because like we're so used in movies to like if somebody's like a douchebag, they're kind of like an asshole, and they're also like Russian. Like in a movie, you're kind of made to already like program to think they're into some shady shit or like part of the Russian mafia or some shit like that. So when you find out that he isn't, and then he was just regular guy who just happens to be a douche and a creep and all that is like, oh, okay. But either way, he was trying to push up on our girl Iris, and I didn't like that, so he got what he deserved.
Yeah, Sergey was. I knew it was gonna be him, but see, at the start of the movie, I thought it was gonna be, oh, Sergey's gonna do something, and he's gonna accidentally make her go crazy, which which is kind of what I think we were supposed to believe until the big twist came. But also, like, what does Sergey have going on? But the cops are like, oh yeah, that crazy motherfucker. Like, excuse me,
Hmm.
what? What do y'all know that we don't know? That people don't know? Please. save somebody, please. But let's move over to damn, I'm out of Let's move over to Patrick and Eli. They were kind of cute. I was still shocked that Patrick was a robot. I didn't see that coming until it was revealed. And their little talk in the forest, where Patrick was like, "Yeah, I know I'm a robot. Like I figured it out, but like I still love you."
I was
And
like,
he can't lie,
oh,
right? I'm like, it's like he can't lie. So like this is truthful. And I was like, damn. And then Patrick died, and then Eli died, and I was like, no. But other than cute,
you know they love a bury your gaze trope.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I don't know. I enjoy them. They were like good comic relief. They were cute together. I genuinely enjoyed them, and I was like, oh, and it was a good contrast how Josh treats Iris. Like Patrick and Eli, I feel like Eli actually doesn't just see Patrick as like a thing. Like they actually like love each other. I mean, they both
Yeah.
died. But what are your thoughts on Patrick and Eli?
No, I felt the same. Like I mean, before we found out that he was also a droid, like you would have just thought they were a loving ass couple. So the fact that he was able to do it that much without us having even a thought that Patrick was a like another droid, I mean, they did really good with that. So I personally like thought they fit pretty well. Um, I like Eli's actor, Harvey Julian or Julian. I don't know how to pronounce his last name actually. I hope I'm getting that right. But he's very funny in fucking What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know if you watched that show. So that he's actually pretty funny in there. And Lucas Gage is Patrick. I've seen him in a couple of things as well. He's pretty consistently good. He was um he was in another something horror related that I saw. Oh, he was a Smile. That's what we saw him in. We saw him in Smile
Just
too.
smile too.
Yeah, we saw him in there. So he was pretty good in that also. So um yeah, I like some of the things that he was in, and I think both of them did a good job kind of selling the relationship.
You do know what I
Side,
love though? My bad. But with just having him and Jack Quaid in this movie, I love that we have actors and actresses who aren't afraid to like do horror projects. Because at first I felt like mainstream people didn't want to do horror movies, or they would just do one horror movie just to get out the system. But I feel like now it's like okay, it's cool to do like two or three horror projects, and I love that for us.
hmm um, I forget who it was actually, because yeah, I think when we talked about Smile too, I think we mentioned. I do remember an article where like Lucas Gage said that he wanted to be in the sequel for Smile. Like he liked the first one, that he was like actively seeking it out to be in the second one. So whenever shit like that happens, I like that's pretty cool to see. Um,
Let's move on to Cat. I was surprised that Cat was like the reason for all of this. Look, actually, this whole movie is her fault because she
you're
lied
right,
to Josh. Who that? I didn't tell you that he was a mobster. You just led there. Okay, but you didn't correct him. Like you
exactly.
planned. You literally said enough to lead. I'm pretty sure she said enough to lead Josh to that conclusion to be like, okay, yeah, let's kill him. Like it was your idea.
No, she definitely did that shit on purpose. Like, you hate a bitch when they purposely leave out information just to get you riled up on some shit. Like that's literally exactly what she did there. Like she purposely omitted, like lied through omission and left out information in order to uh get him on board for the plan. Now I'm sure I don't would I do I think that he still would have been on board even if he was doing like some regular shit, but he just wanted the money. I don't. I feel like yes. I don't know because Josh like I feel like he could just be easily convinced, and the fact that they were going to do it using the droid so that they could skew the responsibility of not having killed him. I still think he would have did it even if it wasn't that exact same information that Kat told him. I don't know. I just feel like he would have.
Yeah, I don't.
Considering everything he was willing to do after shit started going down, I think I could see him still possibly wanting to off Sergey to get the money.
Yeah, but like he wouldn't have known about the money if it wasn't for Cat.
No, but yeah, you're definitely right about that. Like, she definitely put the bug in his ear and let him
100%.
go off with it.
She was the driving force. Like, I'm pretty sure she only dated this man for his money. And then when he got too much to bear with, she was like, "Oh, I can get a plan to kill him." Like, we don't even know, but it was probably her idea because he told her he told Iris that she was a rental. Like
Hmm.
for all we know, they could have he could have concocted this whole plan and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we should get a robot to do it to go rent one." But their whole plan would have failed because he never knew how was they going to erase the footage when the bitch a rental. You gotta get her back. How's this going to work
No,
out?
that was funny. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was funny finding out. I'm like, bro, ain't even got the whole drawer. He got a whole rental. Like, he got this shit on Afterpay. Like, what the
Crazy.
fuck? No, I was just
Huh?
saying, like, that shit, that was just crazy.
Yeah, the whole movie is Kat's fault. That's all I know. Like she picked this whole thing in motion, and then she got killed. But also, like
Womp womp.
her dying, I was like, this man has already had two robots kill someone, and you're pissing him off. Like, sneak out in the middle of the night, Cat. Why are you being dumb? And then he killed her. Speaking of him, what are your thoughts on Josh?
I love Jack Quaid. I don't know, like he's been really good. He's been really good for me ever since the first season of The Boys came out because I don't think I had noticed or really saw him in anything prior to that first season of The Boys. But after that, then you got like Scream, and he was in a couple like other movies afterwards. He's been like pretty fun to sit to like watch, like especially as he's one of the nepo babies that I don't mind seeing in my movies because some of these other ones they don't really be hidden, but he fits well for the roles that you put him in, and I think he did really good with this one. Like this one, he was kind of like not as crazy as him, but a little bit. He was definitely given um a little bit of Richie from Scream Five in this one. Just the way that he was going about it with Iris. So I kind of felt that. Um, Also, I don't know, he just kind of sells that. Hmm, like every guy type of thing, like every man. Not like
He's
every
just
man,
like
but like average
he's
guy.
like an average guy, not in a bad way either.
Yeah. Like I feel like he would be somebody that I would like run into at like a party or something. Or like a bar randomly, and like
An
he
average
fits that
Joe.
aesthetic. Yeah, like average Joe type. He fits that aesthetic like pretty well, and for what this movie needed for us to believe, I think it was they were sold to us like pretty good.
Yeah, I was annoyed by Josh this entire movie. Like once I knew what he was doing, I was just like, oh, can we just please kill him? Please kill him. Please kill him off. And every interaction he had with Iris, I'm like, oh my god, kill him. The last straw is what he did to Patrick. His Patrick Jr. 'Cause It it's so crazy. Like he, even with him having like Eli's phone and trying to control Patrick, Patrick's love for Eli was still coming through. He This motherfucker reset him. And now he this fucking Patrick is calling him baby. I'm like, oh my god, please kill him. Please kill him. Please kill him. And then the audacity to like dress up Patrick as the cop that was killed, and like this man is doing way too much. He needs to die. He needs to die. And I love that like the tech guys didn't believe any of the BS he was spilling. I'm like, okay, yes, 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 I need this. Yes. Because well, he just made me mad the entire movie. Like, even when they were just driving, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like him. And at that point, when we first started, I thought that she was just gonna go batshit crazy and kill everybody. And I didn't even like him. And the goddamn grocery store scene made me think he was a creep anyway. Or
That
Twan.
is funny. That is
Like,
funny to me how they do that. Um,
insane, actually.
the
Scary.
little the little meet cute, basically, like the fake meet cute for like
Hmm.
their droid. Like that's so funny to me because it was giving corny anyways. Like even like when
It really was.
so like when you found out it was fake, I was like, oh, well that makes sense because it was corny as hell. Oh shit. Um, yeah, nothing else on Josh. He was just a little corny man. Like that's all really all I could say about him. He was just giving cornball the entire time, and he couldn't handle a bad bitch.
Well, Twan, speaking of that bad bitch, what are your thoughts on Iris?
We love Iris. So, like, you know what? I didn't even mention this when we talk about. I'm gonna need to mention this to go into the Iris part with Josh. Why would he tell her that she was a droid? Why the fuck would he tell her that? There was no reason for him to say that to
Yeah.
her.
That whole like sit down conversation they were having, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why is
That
this
was
happening?
so stupid of him. Cause like there was no purpose for that. If he didn't say any of that and just did what he was gonna do, he would have been good to go. Well, actually, he wouldn't have been good to go because the hard drive still would have been in her chest, and he probably would have just shot her or some shit. But, um, oh yeah, there was no point in him sitting her down and telling her that she's a fucking like robot or whatever. Because what does that do for you? So that was so stupid. But her finding out that she was a robot, and then first thing she did was take the phone that he was using the controller on. Smartest thing she did the whole movie, to be quite honest with you, because
Love that part. I was like,
yeah,
yes, yes.
like once
Can
she got that phone
humans
and
final
unlocked
girls
her
be this smart?
energy, huh?
I said, can human final girls be this smart?
Yeah, once she got that phone and unlocked her full potential and everything, like she was acting like Scarlett Johansson and Lucy without the fucking powers.
But smarter than that, she got the tech guy to fully unlock her.
Yup.
Like, girl, self preservation, I love it.
Yeah, she was on it. Um, yeah, but I love the character though. I like the actress that played her. As I mentioned, she's in Yellow Jackets, which is a good show, and she's pretty good in that. And yeah, I think she just fit like really well here. Like, um, she sold the character of Iris for me. So I think that was the goal. So I think she did really go with it.
Well, now with that, Tuan, can keep. Tuan, can you please give the people the behind the scenes info and facts?
That I can. So, Companion had a budget of $10 million dollars and it brought in the box office of $36.7 million dollars. Some critics' reactions: the film currently sits at a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. The Financial Times gave it three stars out of five, writing a robot that turns against its puny human controller is hardly a new idea, but the current anxiety around AI obviously gives Companion topical punch. The Guardian was more critical, stating the film is more sleekly made than it's thoughtfully written, while with convenient inconsistencies, a short yet stretched runtime, and a rather flat fight to death Terminator-esque finale, leaving things on a so what shrug. The AV Club gave it a C plus grade, stating Companion's observations about relationship power dynamics are mostly just comedy ex machina, with the faintest hint of her, neutered with a very big studio approach to inherently geeky material.
Twan, do we cash or pass? Companion. I'm gonna give this a cash. It was a complete surprise. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I had all these ideas of what this movie was going to be, and they were all wrong. And I'm happy with that because I went in with these certain expectations and it subverted them, and I enjoyed it so much. I love when a movie can surprise me when I think I have it pegged down, and it was good. You know, when you have a killer android movie like Terminator or Megan, you always think, oh, the robot goes crazy and kills everyone. But it's like, no, the robot was actually innocent this time. She was set up and she was kicking ass, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the subtle messaging that was like wrapped into the movie. It's a cash. Tuan?
I also think it's a cash. It's a fun movie. It's a quick little watch. I love me another 90-minute movie you could get in, get out. Um, I think the cast here was pretty well put together, and it's definitely one of those movies that somebody never heard of or seen anything for it. I can show them and watch them be surprised by what's happening.
With that, we have come to the end of our review of Companion. Join us next week as we review Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm excited. I know Tuan's excited. As of the day of this recording, we'll be going to watch this movie together tomorrow, which I'm also excited about. So our review will be fresh and it'll be good, but that's for next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a letter to media production.
Should we do an intro?